The door clicks shut like a secret choosing sides. The hallway light fades and suddenly the air feels closer, thicker with something spoken. No music, no television glow, just the low hum of the night pressing softly against the windows. You stand near the edge of the bed, fingers grazing the fabric, like you're deciding how much of yourself to give away tonight. I don't move at first, I just watch the way your chest rises, slow and measured, like you're holding back a tide that's already turning. Slow heat in the quiet room, building without a spark, without a flame, just friction between glances, between breaths that fall a little too close. I step toward you carefully, not wanting to break whatever fragile gravity is pulling us together. Your eyes don't leave mine, there's no smile, no playful distraction, just a depth that feels almost dangerous. My hand finds your wrist, gentle, lingering, and your pulse answers faster than your voice ever could. The space between us shrinks inch by inch until one replaces air. Slow heat in the quiet room, settling under skin beneath restraint, beneath all the careful ways we pretend not to want this. Your fingertips slide along my arm unhurried, mapping the curve like you're memorizing every reaction. I exhale slowly when your touch reaches my shoulder. You feel it, I know you do, because you move closer. Not rushed, not impatient, just certain. The lamp on the nightstand casts a muted gold halo around your silhouette. Your shadow stretches across the wall, merging with mine until they're indistinguishable. Slow heat in the quiet room, rising in waves, not crashing, just rolling steady like a tide that refuses to retreat. Your lips hover near mine, we pause there, a suspended second where anticipation feels louder than any sound. When we finally kiss, it's soft exploratory, a slow unfolding, no urgency, just depth. Your hands settle at my waist, fingers pressing slightly as if testing how real I am. I pull you closer by the back of your shirt, feeling the warmth of you seep through every layer. The quiet doesn't break, it thickens. Our breathing becomes the rhythm. Inhale, exhale, closer, closer. Slow heat in the quiet room, spreading through ribs and spine, turning every touch into a quiet confession. I trail my hand along your back, slow enough to feel the subtle tension. Under your skin, you lean into it, not demanding more, just allowing. There's something powerful about how gently we move, like we understand that rushing would ruin the fragile beauty of this moment. Your lips find my neck, lingering there, as if listening to the pulse beneath. I close my eyes, letting sensation bloom slowly, like warmth spreading through cold fingertips. The room feels smaller now, closer, warmer. Slow heat in the quiet room, turning whispers into shivers, turning silence into something alive. I press you back toward the bed, not forceful, just guided by gravity. And we're solemnly there's a silence that only exists when the lights are low and the world has stopped asking questions. It lives here in the dim outline of your body, beneath the thin blue glow of almost morning. You're lying beside me, close enough that I can feel the warmth radiating from your skin, but not touching yet, not yet. The space between your breaths is where I get lost. Inhale, your chest rises slowly, like the tide gathering itself. Exhale, a soft surrender into the sheets, into the quiet, into me. I turn towards you carefully, afraid to disturb the fragile rhythm we've fallen into. Your eyes are half closed, lashes casting faint shadows against your cheek. There's something undone about you, something honest. The space between your breasts stretches like silk pulled tight, thin and trembling with anticipation. My fingers drift across the mattress, tracing invisible lines towards your hand. When they finally brush, you don't pull away, you just breathe in deeper this time. Deeper this time. I let my palm rest over your heart, feeling the steady pulse beneath warm skin. It answers my touch without hesitation. Your lips part slightly, not to speak, just to let the air move through you more slowly. The space between your breaths becomes smaller now, filled with the warmth of shared air. I lean closer, my forehead brushing yours, our noses grazing softly. We hover there, barely touching, as if even the smallest movement might break something sacred. Inhale, exhale. Your breath spills against my mouth, mine answers back. It's not a kiss yet, just proximity, just the quiet awareness of how easily this could become something more. The space between your breaths is where restraint lives. Where tension gathers without asking permission. My hand slides along your waist, slow enough to feel the subtle shift of muscle beneath skin. You arch toward me, almost imperceptibly. That's when I kiss you, soft, measured, unrushed. You respond in increments, a gentle press, a deeper exhale, fingers curling into my shoulder, as if grounding yourself. The room feels smaller now, warmer. The air thickens with something unspoken. The space between your breasts disappears as our mouths move together, slow and searching urgency. No performance, just a steady unfolding of closeness. Your hand drifts down my back, tracing a line fingers trace circles on my room, gentle, repetitive, grounding us in the present. The space between your breaths is no longer empty. It's filled with warmth, with shared air, with the quiet understanding that this moment doesn't need a future to be real. We slow until we're almost still, lips brushing occasionally, foreheads touching, breathing the same thin line of oxygen. Outside, the faintest hint of dawn begins to soften the darkness, but we stay here, suspended, because sometimes the most intimate thing is not the touch, it's not the kiss, not even the closeness. It's the pause, the fragile, trembling pause between inhale and exhale. The space between your breaths, where I learn the rhythm of you, where I feel how gently two bodies can express without breaking the quiet. The last train hums somewhere far below, a fading vibration under concrete and steel. Neon signs flicker once, then surrender. Windows go dark one by one, like tired eyes finally closing. And up here above the noise, we stand by the glass, watching the city forget itself. When the city falls asleep, I feel you shift closer. Not because you're cold, but because silence makes room for honesty. Your reflection overlaps mine in the window, two silhouettes softened by height and midnight. I touch your wrist gently, thumb tracing the faint pulse there. You don't look at me at first, you're watching. The streets empty, cars grow scarce, traffic lights blink yellow for no one. When the city falls asleep, the distance between us feels unnecessary. I turn you slowly toward me, my hands settling at your waist. There's something different about you now, less guarded, less composed. It's like you've been waiting for the world to quiet down before letting yourself feel. The room behind us is dim, only a single lamp breathing amber light. It paints your collarbone gold, leaves your eyes in shadow. I lean in, not to kiss you yet, just to hover close enough to share the same air. Your breath is warm against my lips, measured almost holding back all evening, not wild, not reckless, just deep. When the city falls asleep, the quiet amplifies everything. The sound of lips parting, the whisper of fabric shifting, the low exhale you can't contain. We stumble gently toward the couch, hands still connected, foreheads brushing as we move. You sit first, pulling me down with you, your fingers sliding along my back in slow, deliberate lines. The skyline glows faintly behind us, distant lights blinking like stars trapped on Earth. When the city falls asleep, your body softens against mine. I kiss along your jaw, down to the curve of your neck, feeling your pulse quicken beneath my mouth. You tilt your head back slightly, giving me access, trusting me with the quiet places. My hands move slowly across your waist, over your hips, never rushing the heat building between us. The city is almost silent now. No sirens, no laughter drifting from the street, just a faint hum of electricity and the rhythm of art. When the city falls asleep, I press you deeper into the cushion, our bodies aligning like the skyline and horizon, separate yet touching. Your fingers tangle in my hair, guiding my mouth back to yours. The kiss deepens, heavier now, slower but more certain. We move together like we've learned the time in a quiet choreography made for after hours. Your hands explore carefully, mapping wise my reaction. I feel your breath against my neck, your chest rising faster with each measured movement. When the city falls asleep, desire doesn't shout, it hums low, steady, impossible to ignore. The lamp flickers once, then steadies again. Shadows stretch around us, wrapping the room in something softer than darkness. Our movement slow as closeness deepens, every touch sinking in instead of gliding past. Your forehead rests against mine, eyes closed, breathing you not. Outside the sky begins to pale slightly at the edges. When the city falls asleep and this light thing left between us, it's not loud than the quiet certainty that we trust, just real. I don't say it right away, I let it rest there. Your name hidden behind closed lips, warm, waiting. The room is dark except for a thin line of light, slipping through the curtains, cutting the bed in half. You're lying beside me, eyes half open, watching like you already know what I'm holding back. Your name under my tongue feels heavier than it should. Not a word, nor like a secret that tastes like midnight. You trace slow circles against my wrist, absent-minded but intentional. Each touch a quiet reminder that you're here, that this is real. I lean closer, letting my lips harder, just above your shoulder. I could say it now, but I don't. Your breath shifts when my mouth brushes your skin, a soft reaction, barely audible, but enough. Your name under my tongue burns softly like a candle that doesn't flicker, just glows. I kiss my way upward along your collarbone to the curve of your neck, slow measured, as if I'm spelling something without sound. Your fingers slide into my hair, not pulling, just anchoring. The bed creaks faintly as I move above you. The light catches in your eyes, turning them darker. Say, you whisper, but you don't mean out loud. Your name under my tongue finally slips free, not spoken boldly, but breathed against your mouth. It dissolves between us the second I kiss you. Deeper this time, less careful, still slow. You would enter with a low exhale, hands pressing against my back, drawing me closer until there's no space left for doubt. The sheets twist around our legs, your body arches subtly beneath my touch. I say your name again, softer, letting it fall against your jaw, your throat, where your pulse betrays you. Your name under my tongue changes the air in the room. It makes everything more intimate, more deliberate, like calling something into existence. Your lips move to my neck, whispering my name back, not as a statement, but as a plea. We move together slowly, guided by breath instead of thought. My hands explore your waist, your ribs, memorizing the shape of you, like I'm afraid the night might steal it away. Between pauses, between the quiet sounds you can't hold in, I press my forehead to yours, our breathing tangles. The world outside disappears, no cars, no distant sirens, just the soft hum of two hearts beating, too close to ignore. I drag my lips down your chest, taking my time, letting every inch feel intentional. You tremble slightly, not from cold, but from the weight of being seen this closely. Your name under my tongue turns into a rhythm, spoken between kisses, between pauses, between the quiet sounds you can't hold in. I press my forehead to yours, our breathing tangles. The world outside disappears, no cars, no distant sirens, just the soft hum of two hearts beating, too close to ignore. I drag my lips down your chest, taking my time, letting every inch feel intentional. You tremble slightly, not from cold, but from the weight of being seen this closely. Your name under my tongue turns into a whisper against your ear, a vibration you feel more than hear. We move as one slow motion, heat building steadily beneath restraint. No rush, no sharp edges, just the steady unraveling of distance. When we finally slow, when our bodies settle into warmth and quiet, I rest my mouth against your collarbone. Your breathing steadies gradually, fingers tracing idle patterns along my spine. I say your name once more, barely audible, a final exhale into your skin. Your name under my tongue lingers, even after the sound fades. It stays there, warm, familiar, alive, and in the hush that follows, with the night wrapped around us and your arms holding me close, I realize some names aren't meant meant to be shouted, they're meant to be tasted slowly in the dark. The room is breathing softly, like it knows we're not ready for morning. Curtains barely moving, city lights leaking through the cracks in quiet silver lines. You're standing there, half in darkness, half in something warmer, and I swear the night leans closer, just to see the shape of you. Velvet shadows on your skin, slow as drifting smoke, sliding over collarbones, resting in the hollow of your throat. I trace them with my eyes like they belong to me for these few fragile hours. Don't speak yet, let the silence press closer. Let it wrap around us like a secret we don't have to explain. Your breath, soft, measured, falls against my chest, and the space between us starts to dissolve inch by inch. I move slowly, like I'm afraid to wake the air. My fingertips hover just above your waist, close enough to feel the warmth without breaking it. There's something sacred about how you look at me when the world is gone. No noise, no names, no daylight expectations, just a quiet pull of skin toward skin. Velvet shadows on your skin, darker where my hands remember. Light away your pulse flickers under the surface. Every touch is a question asked without words, and you answer by leaning in. The lamp on the dresser flickers one soft amber glow, turning your shoulders into art, your back into a landscape. I wanna get lost inside. Time slows down here, it folds in on itself. Minutes stretch thin, like silk between our fingers. I kiss you like I'm learning a language no one else will ever hear. Slow, unrushed, careful with every syllable. Your hands slide up my spine, not urgent, just certain, like you've been here before in another life, another night, another room painted in shadow. Velvet shadows on your skin, moving when you move, blurring when we get closer, until I can't tell where darkness ends and you begin. There's heat building under the quiet low, steady like a hidden flame that doesn't need to be seen to be felt. I press my forehead to yours, we breathe the same air, share the same slow rhythm, and everything outside this room feels impossibly far. No future, no past, just the weight of now resting gently between our bodies. Your name slips from my lips, barely louder than a thought. You answer by pulling me closer, not desperate, just to liberate. Like you wanna memorize the way I shiver when your fingers draw invisible lines across my back. Velvet shadows on your skin, melting beneath my palms, soft as confession, deep as midnight water. I don't rush you, I don't rush this. The night is long and we let it stretch. Our movements slow and your skin now tangled with mine. Our outlines faded in a one blurred silhouette against the dim lit wall. And when you pull me down beside you, and the sheets gather around our legs like whispered promises, it's not the touch that lingers most, it's the way you look at me after soft, open, still here. The night holding us like it doesn't wanna let go, like it understands. This kind of closeness only exists after hours, and I stay there tracing invisible turn. My shadow. Midnight spills across the floor in quiet blue fragments, slipping through the blinds like it's searching for us. The clock forgets how to move, the city forgets our names, and in this suspended hour there's only the hush between your heartbeat and mine. You're lying on your side, face half lit by the fading streetlight, eyes heavy but awake like you're waiting for something unspoken to finally arrive. I move closer without a sound, the mattress dips slowly, a soft confession of weight. Your fingers find mine under the sheets as if they always knew where I'd be. Whispered between midnight and you are the words we never say in daylight. They don't need volume, they don't need permission. They live in the spaces our mouths almost touch. Your breath warms my neck, slow and steady. I feel it before I feel your lips hovering, almost there, teasing the edge of contact. There's a tenderness in restraint, a quiet fire in waiting. The room is dark, but I can trace you perfectly. The curve of your shoulder, the gentle rise of your chest, the rhythm of your pulse beneath my fingertips. Whispered between midnight and you is the way your body answers mine. Without hesitation, not urgent, not rush, just inevitable. I slide my hand along your waist, slow enough to feel every inch of warmth. You inhale sharply, not surprise, just recognition. Like we've done this before in some other lifetime, where time also moved this slowly. Outside, a distant siren fades. Inside, everything grows quieter. Your lips brush mine, barely a kiss, more like a question pressed gently into my skin. And I answer by deepening it, soft, measured, lingering. Our mouths move like we're memorizing each other for the first time and the last. Whispered between midnight and you are promises without future tense. Nothing about forever, nothing about tomorrow, just this hour, fragile and glowing. Your hand slides up my back, fingers tracing the line on my spine, as if it's a map leading somewhere sacred. I art into you, not not out of need, but because it feels like gravity pulling me home. The sheets twist around our legs, caught between shifting bodies and the quiet heat building underneath. There's a slow tension in the way you hold me, not tight, not loose, just enough to say don't disappear. I press my forehead to yours, our noses brush, a shared breath passes between us, warm, intimate, alive, whispered between midnight and you. Is the sound of skin moving softly in the dark, the subtle exhale when fingers explore familiar territory like it's still new. Your lips drift to my jaw, my collarbone pausing, never demanding, always asking. And I give in increments, slow surrender, quiet consent, bodies aligning like they were waiting for this alignment all day. The night stretches wider around us, it feels endless, a velvet sky pressed against the windows. Your heartbeat grows stronger, my palm, mine answers back a conversation no one else can overhear. Whispered between midnight and you is the way we move without choreography, guided only by instinct and the soft pulse of shared desire. No rush, no performance, just closeness deepening layer by layer. When you pull me closer, there's a moment, a suspended breath where everything holds still. Then warmth, then closeness, then the quiet sound of your name falling from my lips like it belongs there. We don't speak after that, we don't need to. The room is darker now, but I can still see you in the outline of shadow against shadow. Your fingers lazily tracing circles along my arm, my lips pressing soft gratitude into your shoulder. Whispered between midnight and you is the silence after, not empty, but full, full of breath, full of warmth, full of the kind of connection that only exists when the world is asleep. And as we settle, bodies set in the dark, and some things are never spoken at all, only felt between midnight and you. The window is open just enough for the night to slip inside. A silver hush pours across the floor, climbing slowly over the bed where we lie awake, pretending not to feel how close we are. The curtains sway like a slow breath, the air smells faintly of rain, and something warmer, something that feels like you. Moonlight tangled in silk sheets, caught between our legs, woven into the quiet folds where your body meets mine, without quite touching. You're on your back, eyes reflecting pale light, lashes casting delicate shadows against your skin. I trace one with my thumb, barely there, just enough to make you inhale deeper. We don't speak, words would feel too heavy here. Everything tonight is made of lighter things, breath, skin, the soft slide of fabric. Moonlight tangled touches mine, an accident we don't correct. Your fingers find my wrist under the covers, cool at first, then warming as they curl gently. There's a tenderness in the way you pull me closer, not urgent, not impatient, just certain. The light catches in your eyes when you look at me like that, soft, open, almost vulnerable. Moonlight tangled in silk sheets, watching as my hand moves along your side, memorizing the subtle curve beneath my palm. Your breath falters when I reach your waist, not startled, just aware. I lean in slowly, my lips brushing yours with the faintest pressure. A question shaped in silence, you answer by deepening it. The kiss unfolds like a quiet confession, unhurried, deliberate, warm. The silk shifts beneath us, cool against heated skin. I slide my hand upward, feeling the steady rhythm of your heartbeat against my fingertips. Moonlight tangled in silk sheets, blurring the edges of where I end and you begin. You pull me on top of you gently, hands at my back, fingers pressing like you're afraid I might dissolve. Our movements are slow, guided by breath more than thought. I press my forehead to yours, noses brushing, sharing the same thin line of air. You smile faintly, not playful, just soft. The room glows, silver and shadow. Your skin looks almost unreal under the pale light, like something sculpted out of quiet. Ooh, moonlight tangled in silk sheets, spilling over our shoulders, resting along our spines as we shift together in a rhythm too gentle to disturb the night. Your lips drift to my neck, queenary, leaving warmth in slow trails. I close my eyes and let the sensation bloom steady and deep. There's no rush, no need to prove anything, just a slow unraveling of restraint. The silk gathers around us, cool and smooth, a contrast to the heat building between our bodies. Moonlight tangled in silk sheets, wrapping around our thighs, hiding the places where our closeness becomes undeniable. Your hands move carefully, exploring like you're tracing a familiar melody at a softer tempo. I exhale your name against your skin, it feels different here, quieter, more honest. You hold me tighter when I say it, the night deepens, the silver light fades into something softer, more blue. Our movement slow, further, not from distance but from depth, every touch sinking in instead of skimming the surface. Moonlight tangled in silk sheets, now warm from our bodies, creased and folded like evidence of something gentle and real. When we finally still, you keep your hands on me as if letting go would break the spell. I rest my head against your chest, listening to the steady go of your heart. As my willing silk sheets wrapping around our thighs, hiding the places where our closeness becomes undeniable. Your hands move carefully, exploring like you're tracing a familiar melody at a soft Let the ceiling disappear, let the walls dissolve until it's just you and the sound of my breathing, searching for yours. I don't wanna see you clearly tonight, I wanna feel you drown me in soft darkness, not the kind that frightens, but the kind that wraps around the ribs and quiets the noise I carry all day. You move somewhere near me, fabric shifting, bare feet against the floor. I hear you before I touch you, and that makes it heavier, slower, more real. The mattress dips behind me, your knee brushes the back of my thigh. He blooms instantly, a silent reaction in a room that cannot witness us. Drown me in soft darkness, where your hands don't ask for permission, because they already know where they belong. Your palm rests at my waist, not gripping, just present, just warm. I lean back and hear you without turning around. My head falls slightly against your shoulder, your breath grazes my neck, steady and low. I feel it more than I hear it. There's something about not seeing that makes every touch echo deeper. Your fingers trace a slow line from my hip to my ribs, measured, careful, like you learn in a surface by memory alone. Drown me in soft darkness, where skin becomes language and silence becomes confession. I turn toward you finally, our foreheads almost colliding in the blackness. I can't see your eyes, but I can feel them on me. Your hand finds my jaw, thumb brushing along my cheek with the softness that makes me exhale before I mean to. That sound, my breath slipping out, changes something. Your lips meet mine without warning, but not aggressively, just certain. The kiss is deeper than before, not faster, just heavier. No light, no reflection, only sensation. Drown me in soft darkness, where our mouths move slowly like they're underwater. No rush, no sharp edges. Your hands slide along my back, pulling me closer until there's nowhere left between us. I feel the steady beat of your heart against my chest. It anchors me, I'll press you down gently into the sheets, guided by instinct, by gravity, by the quiet hunger we've been holding all evening. The darkness makes everything warmer, closer, more honest. Your fingers curl into my shoulders as if you're afraid I might drift away. I won't notice our misses. Your hands slide along my back, pulling me closer until there's nowhere left between us. I feel the steady beat of your heart against my chest. It anchors me, I press you down gently into the sheets, guided by instinct, by gravity, by the quiet hunger we've been holding fragile and handed it back to us intact. Drown me in soft darkness again tomorrow, again next week, again whenever the world gets too loud. Because here, with no light, no expectations, no witnesses, I don't just feel you, I feel safe enough to close my eyes and sink. Dim the lamp until the room forgets its corners. Let the shadows stretch long and thin across the floor, climbing the walls like they're listening. You close the door without a sound. The click feels heavier than it should. Not final, just intentional. Low light, lower voices. That's how this begins. You sit beside me on the edge of the bed, close enough for our thighs to touch, far enough to pretend it's accidental. The air feels warmer tonight, or maybe it's just you. I turn slightly, my knee brushing yours again, this time on purpose. You glance at me, eyes darker in the amber glow. Your voice drops when you speak, barely above a whisper. Low light, lower voices, words melting before they reach the ceiling, falling softly between our mouths. I answer quietly, leaning in closer than necessary, close enough to feel the shape of each syllable as it leaves your lips. Your hand rests on the mattress just behind me, not touching, but close enough to shift the gravity of the room. There's something slow building here, not fire, not lightning, more like a pulse beneath the surface. Low light, low voices, breath shared in fragments, because touch keeps interrupting. Your fingers finally find my waist, hesitant at first and firmer when I don't pull away. I exhale softly, you notice. Your mouth drifts closer to mine, but instead of kissing, you whisper something I can't quite hear. Say it again, I murmur. You lean closer, your lips brush my ear. This time I feel the words more than I understand them, and kiss you again. Slower, heavier, the room feels smaller, closer, wrapped in implicit. My fist body, ghost and fear to appear completely replaced by touch, by breath, by the soul, rhythm of two bodies, shoes and closeness over words. And when we finally still for hairs touching, something ember and shadow, you never shadow. Your hands explore carefully, never hurry, never careless. Every touch lingers as it closes. The lights fade, lower voices, the sound of fabric shifting the faintest sigh. When my lips move along your jaw, down you again. I kiss you again. I kiss you again. The window is cracked open, just enough for the night air to slip inside and disturb the stillness. A single lamp glows in the corner, amber low, soft enough to blur the edges of everything. You're sitting on the floor, back against the bed, one knee bent, watching the thin trail of smoke curl upward from your fingertips. It rises slowly, unhurried, unconcerned, twisting into shapes that disappear before they're understood. Smoke dancing in the lamplight, moving like a secret that doesn't wanna be kept. I lower myself beside you, close enough for our shoulders to touch. You don't look at me right away, you're watching the smoke. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. The room smells faintly of warmth and ash, of something burning gently without urgency. Smoke dancing in the lamplight, casting fragile shadows across your cheekbones, turning your eyes into something deeper than dark. You pass it to me slowly, our fingers brush a quiet spark. I don't bring it to my lips, I just hold it. I don't. The smoke rise between us, a thin veil that makes everything feel more cinematic, more dangerous. You finally look at me, there's a softness there, but underneath it a tension that hasn't decided what it wants. Smoke dancing in the lamplight, like the space between us unsteady alive. I reach up and tuck a loose strand of hair behind your ear. My hand lingers there longer than necessary. Your breath changes, subtle, but I feel it. I lean in, close enough to taste the air, still warm from your exhale. The first kiss is slow, tinged with the faint bitterness of smoke in midnight. It lingers. Your hand finds my waist, pulling me slightly closer without breaking the rhythm. Smoke dancing in the lamplight, curling above our heads as if it's watching what we're about to become. Set it aside, letting it fade on its own. Now now there's nothing between us but heat and quiet. Your lips move against mine with more certainty now, still slow, still deliberate but heavier. I shift closer, straddling your lap carefully, feeling the warmth of you through thin layers. The lamp flickers once, shadow stretching longer across the wall. Smoke dancing in the lamplight, mirroring the way your hands move along my back. Slow curves, soft spirals, never rushing. You kiss along my jaw, down the side of my neck, leaving warmth in your wake. I tilt my head slightly, giving you space, breathing in the faint scent, still clinging to your skin. The room feels smaller now, closer, the air thicker. Smoke dancing in the lamplight, like thoughts we haven't spoken, like desire that doesn't need to be loud. Your fingers trace mine slow enough to make me hard to you. A quiet reaction, but you notice. You always notice. I press my forehead to yours, our breaths mingle in the lamp, painting your face in gold and shadow. No words, just the subtle sound of fabric shifting, of lips parting, of the night settling deeper around us. Smoke dancing in the lamplight, now fading, thinning into nothing, but the warmth remains. You guide me gently down onto the rug, hovering above me for a moment, your silhouette framed in amber. You look almost unreal like this, softened by shadow, defined by weight. Your mouth finds mine again, slower this time, more intimate. Your hands explore carefully, memorizing curves like they're mapping something fragile. The leaf first hope. No more smoke, just warmth. And in the hush that follows, we're with shadows wrapped around us like a second skin. I realize some nights on about fire, I burst certainly. And no more smoke, just warmth. And in the hush that follows, we're with shadows wrapped around us like a second skin. Don't wait the legs, some nights more dangerous. We slow eventually, not from exhaustion, but from depth. You lie beside me, one arm draped across my waist. I trace lazy patterns on your chest, feeling your heartbeat steady beneath my palm. The lamp still glows softly, no more smoke, just warmth. And then there's that follows with shadows like a second skin. Hurry up, there's something about bound light may disappear, but what it leaves behind lingers undone. The air clear. The room is breathing softly, like it knows we're not ready for morning. Curtains barely moving, city lights leaking through the cracks in quiet silver lines. You're standing there, half in darkness, half in something warmer. And I swear the night leans closer just to see the shape of you. Velvet shadows on your skin, slow as drifting smoke, sliding over collarbones, resting in the hollow of your throat. I trace them with my eyes like they belong to me for these few fragile hours. Don't speak yet, let the silence press closer, let it wrap around us like to explain. Your breath, soft, measured, falls against my chest, and the space between us starts to dissolve, inch by inch. I move slowly, like I'm afraid to wake the air. My fingertips hover just above your waist, close enough to feel the warmth without breaking it. There's something sacred about how you look at me when the world is gone. No noise, no names, no daylight expectations, just the quiet pull of skin toward skin. Velvet shadows on your skin, darker where my hands remember, lighter where your pulse flickers under the surface. Every touch is a question asked without words, and you answer by leaning in. The lamp on the dresser flickers one soft amber glow, turning your shoulders into art, your back into a landscape. I wanna get lost inside. Time slows down here, it folds in on itself. Minutes stretch thin like silk between our fingers. I kiss you like I'm learning a language no one else will ever hear. Slow, unrushed, careful with every syllable. Your hands light up my spine, not urgent, just certain, like you've been here before. In another life, another night, another room painted in shadow. Velvet shadows on your skin, moving when you move, blurring when we get closer, until I can't tell where darkness ends and you begin. There's heat building under the quiet, low, steady, like a hidden flame that doesn't need to be seen to be felt. I press my forehead to yours, we breathe the same air, share the same slow rhythm, and everything outside this room feels impossibly far. No future, no past, just the weight of now resting gently between our bodies. Your name slips from my lips, barely louder than I thought. You answer by pulling me closer, not desperate, just deliberate. Like you wanna memorize the way I shiver when your fingers draw invisible lines across my back. Velvet shadows on your skin, melting beneath my palms, soft as confession, deep as midnight water. I don't rush you, I don't rush this. The night is long and we let it stretch. Our movement slow and deliberate, like we're carving something to the silence, something fragile and beautiful in ours. Outside, a distant car passes, then nothing again. Inside, your heartbeat under my ear, steady, warm, alive. Velvet shadows on your skin, now tangle with mine, our outlines fading into one blurred silhouette against the dim lit wall. And when you pull me down beside you, when the sheets gather around our legs like whispered promises, I realize it's not the touch that lingers most. It's the way you look at me after soft fade. exist after hours, and I stay there tracing invisible patterns along your shoulder, watching velvet shadows rise and fall with every breath you take. There's a quiet resting on your collarbone, like moonlight that forgot to leave. The window is open just enough for the night to lean inside and listen. You're lying close but not touching, as if the space between us is something fragile we're both afraid to disturb. I can hear you breathing slow, like a tide pulling back before it confesses the shore. The room is dim and silver, every shadow soft edge and patient, waiting for us to cross the smallest distance. Your fingers shift against the sheets, barely there, a whisper and caught, and I feel it even without contact. There's electricity and restraint in the way your knee almost finds mine, and hesitates like it wants to savor the ache of almost. The clock on the wall loses its authority, second stretch bend is all that remains is a quiet rhythm between inhale and exhale. Stay here right before the touch, where anticipation hums like low thunder under skin. It's the silence between our breaths that says the most, the trembling pause before our bodies are distant. Your lips hover close to mine, not asking, not taking, just existing. In this fragile stillness I feel you deeper than any words could reach. It's the silence between our breaths where everything begins. You turn toward me slowly, as if afraid the dark might crack from sudden movement. Your forehead brushes mine, soft, accidental and intentional all at once. Our noses almost meet, your warmth spilling into the small space I didn't know I was holding. There's a question in your breath, a gentle tremor that lands on my cheek and waits. I answer without speaking, closing the distance until the air itself feels too thin. If we never rush beyond this, I would still remember it, the way your breathing faltered, the way mine followed this fragile exchange of oxygen and longing is more intimate than fire. Because here in the almost we are choosing to feel. It's the silence between our breaths that carries the heat, that makes the dark shimmer like something alive. Your mouth finally finds mine, not urgent, just certain, and the quiet breaks like glass in slow motion, falling into warmth. It's the silence between our breaths that made it sacred. Stay close, so close that even the air forgets where you end and I begin. Let the night hold this fragile rhythm. just enough for the night to enter. In silver fragments, moonlight spills across the floor, climbs the edge of the bed and settles gently on your shoulder. You're lying on your side, quiet, as if you were placed there by something careful. The light traces the line of your back, slow, reverent, like it understands what I'm afraid to touch too quickly. Memorizing the glow where the moonlight rests on you, as if it chose you over the entire sky. Outside the city hums low, distant and blurred, but in here everything feels suspended. Your fingers drift across the sheet, absent-minded, drawing invisible shapes that vanish before I can read them. I move closer, not enough to disturb the light, just enough to feel its reflection on your skin. Your breath rises, meets mine halfway, and lingers there like mist over water. The moon doesn't rush, and neither do we. Stay still, let the silver find you. Let it soften every edge. There's something sacred in this quiet glow, where the moonlight rests on you. The night feels endless, like we've slipped outside of time. Your skin turns luminous beneath this gentle touch, and I can't look away in this pale shimmer. Desire moves slowly like tide against shore. shadow, like it knows we won't be leaving soon. The lamp is off, but a faint amber glow from the hallway slips under the door, thin as a secret. You're lying beside me, eyes closed but not asleep. I can tell by the rhythm of your breathing we're too intentional. There's a distance of inches between our mouths, and it feels enormous, like a shoreline at night, waiting for tide. I almost say something, anything, just to break the tension, but instead I let your name rest on my tongue. Touch. Outside the wind brushes the building, soft and uncertain, like it's trying not to interrupt. You shift closer, your shoulder grazing mine, slow, as if you're measuring how much closeness we can survive. My fingers hover at your waist and settle, gentle like they've always belonged there. The quiet grows deeper, not heavy, just full. Full of glances we didn't finish, full of breaths we didn't steady, full of everything we're holding back. If I say it now, it might change everything. If I don't, it might stay with me forever. Your name in the quiet sounds different, softer, more honest. When I whisper it against your skin, it feels like a confession I've been carrying too long. Your name in the quiet doesn't echo, it settles right between your heartbeat and mine. You open your eyes slowly, and the dark seems to lean toward us. There's something vulnerable there, not fragile, but real. Your hand slides up my arm, steady on her right until your fingers rest just beneath my jaw. I say your name again, barely audible, just breath and intention. And the way you exhale tells me you heard more than sound. The space between us dissolves inch by inch, like ice surrendering to warmth. Said your name in crowded rooms, casual, careless, but here in this dim hour with nothing to hide behind, it feels sacred, like a promise without pressure, like a doorway left open. Your name in the quiet falls from my lips, slow like I'm tasting every letter. You move closer until silence can't survive, and our mouths meet, soft, certain. Your name in the quiet is the only sound I want tonight. Say mine back, not loudly, just enough. Let it drift across the dark and settle. Two names in one quiet room, still breathing, still close, still here. There's a thin line of light under the door, just enough to outline you in quiet gold. You're sitting close, close enough that our knees almost meet, but not quite. The air feels charged, not loud, not wild, just steady like something waiting to be understood. Your hand rests beside mine, fingers separated by a breath, by a decision, by restraint. We haven't moved in minutes, and still everything feels in motion. You glance at me slowly, eyes lingering and drifting away, as if looking too long might set something off. My fingers shift, barely just enough for the warmth to register. Your skin doesn't touch mine, but I feel it like heat through glass. The silence stretches thin, fragile, ready to break, but neither of us rushes, because the space itself is part of the fire. Don't close the distance yet, let it ache, let it glow. There's something beautiful in almost barely touching, still burning. Your breath grazes my lips, and it's enough to make the dark shimmer. No urgency, no collision, just tension held gently, barely touching, still burning like two stars refusing to fall. Your fingertips brush my wrist, so light it could have been imagined, but the warmth lingers, spreads slowly through my arm into my chest. I slide closer until our shoulders meet, soft, steady. You inhale sharply, not from surprise, but from recognition. Our foreheads rest together, eyes closed, balanced on the edge of something deeper. The heat builds not from movement, but from presence. Sometimes the smallest contact carries the most weight. The way your knee presses into mine and stays, the way your thumb traces the faintest circle against my palm. We could go further, but we don't, because this slow ignition is enough. Barely touching, still burning. Your lips meet mine, soft like you're afraid to disturb the flame. It's not loud, it's not desperate, it's steady and consuming. Barely touching, still burning. Long after we pull away, stay close, but not closer. Let the space keep glowing. Two bodies, one quiet room, heat rising without a sound. Barely touching, still burning. bedside lamp is dimmed to its lowest confession, casting a fragile halo across the edge of the bed. You're standing there, half in shadow, half in honey-colored light, like you're undecided between staying and surrendering. The air feels delicate like glass warmed by breath. One more movement and it might shatter, but we don't move wrong. We move slowly as if guided by something quieter than instinct. Your fingers trace the rim of the lamp, absent, nervous, watching the light flicker against your skin. I step closer, not enough to close the space, just enough to feel the warmth shift. Your chest rises, falls, rises again. There's a question in your eyes, not fear, not doubt, just the weight of wanting. The room hums low like it understands what hangs between us. Don't turn it off yet, let the glow hold us here. Balance between restraint and release. In the glow of almost everything feels infinite. Your hand hovers at my waist, not claiming, just asking. Our lips nearly meet, and that near feels louder than anything. In the glow of almost, desire is patient, and time forgets to move. You're leaning slow enough that I notice the shift in your breathing. My hands find your shoulders, warm, steady, real. The light softens further, edges blurring until we're made of golden shadow. Your forehead rests against mine, and we stay there listening. Not to the world, but to the quiet tremble underneath our ribs. The distance between our mouths is thinner now, fragile, glowing. There's something sacred about stopping right before the fall, about feeling the pull and choosing to linger. Because in this suspended second, we're fully aware, fully awake, fully alive. No rush, no noise, just the hum of almost becoming. In the glow of almost, your lips finally touch mine, soft as if testing the edge of flame. It's not explosive, it's inevitable. The light flickers once and steadies. In the glow of almost, we learn how to move slowly into yes. The lamp dims further, but we don't notice. Our breathing sinks quiet even. The room no longer feels fragile, just warm. In the glow of almost, we stayed long enough to become. breathing slower than we are, curtains barely moving, like they're afraid to interrupt. The streetlight outside spills a fragile gold across your shoulder, and everything it touches turns to quiet fire. Your silhouette drifts along the wall, soft and blurred like a memory not ready to fade. I trace the outline with my eyes not touching yet, just learning the language of how you exist in the dark. There's a hush between us, thick as midnight velvet, resting gently on your skin. I move closer, the mattress sighs beneath the shift of weight. Every inch between us feels intentional, like distance is part of the ritual. Your breath warms the hollow of my collarbone, slow, unhurried, as if time agreed to soften for us. The night presses its forehead against the window, watching but never speaking. My fingers hover, not claiming, just asking, gliding through the shadows that cling to you like silk. Velvet shadows on your skin, and I'm learning them by heart. Don't rush this, let the silence bloom, let it wrap around us like something sacred. Velvet shadows on your skin, moving like quiet waves across the sea. I've waited for your name, rest on my lips, unfinished, like a promise we don't need to say. We don't need the light, understand the shape of us in the dark. Everything feels honest, everything feels closer. Velvet shadows on your skin, and I am exactly where I'm meant to be. Your hand finds mine, slow as a drifting constellation, mapping warmth without urgency, without fear. There's something almost fragile about how you lean into me, like you're trusting gravity to hold you gently. The world outside is miles away, reduced to distant hums and fading headlights. Here, the only rhythm that matters is the steady pulse beneath your ribs. I press my forehead to yours, eyes closed as if the dark itself is guiding us. If morning never came, I wouldn't notice. If the clocks forgot our names, I wouldn't ask. Stay in this softness when nothing demands and nothing breaks, where shadows are kind and every breath is shared. Velvet shadows on your skin, like secrets made of light. My hands remember you even when they're still. The air between us is warm with everything unsaid, and every quiet second feels infinite. Velvet shadows on your skin, and the night folding around us like it was waiting for this. Don't move yet, let the darkness keep us, let the silence settle to our bones. Velvet shadows soft and endless on your skin, on your skin, on your skin. After midnight, the walls forget their shape, and the room turns liquid with shadow. Streetlights blur into pale halos through half-closed blinds like distant planets fading in and out of view. You're sitting on the edge of the bed, barefoot, thoughtful. Your outline silvered by the quiet. The air feels heavy and now thick with the kind of silence that only exists when the world is asleep. I say your name softly, not to call you, but to hear how it sounds when it belongs only to us. You turn slowly, eyes darker than the room, as if they've learned the language of low light. There's something fragile in the way your hand reaches back, resting against the mattress. An unspoken invitation, a question made of fingertips. The clock reads 12:47, but time has lost its edges. Minutes melt, drip softly into the space between us. Outside a car passes, headlights sweeping briefly across your shoulder. And I swear I've never seen anything so quietly devastating. Come closer, not because we have to, but because we want to. Because after midnight, desire feels honest. After midnight, we whisper like secrets or sacred things. Your breath touches my neck and the dark leans in. Words dissolve in a half-inch confessions and quiet laughter pressed into skin. After midnight, we whisper, and the night keeps everything. You lie beside me now, faces inches apart, close enough to feel the warmth without crossing the line. Your fingers trace slow patterns across my wrist, not urgent, not careless, just deliberate. There's tension and restraint, a gentle gravity pulling us inward, but never rushing. You murmur something so soft it almost disappears, and I catch it like a fragile note floating through dim air. If morning never found us like this, I wouldn't mind. Let the city wake without us, let the sun search and fail. Because here, in this quiet hour where nothing demands and nothing erupts, we are exactly where we wanna be. After midnight, we whisper, your lips barely grazing mine, like you're testing the temperature of forever. The room exhales as we close the final inch, and silence shatters into war. After midnight, we whisper, and everything else falls away. Stay here in the low glow where shadows blur and hearts speak softly. After midnight, no one is watching, no one is listening. Only us, only breath, only whisper. warmth is still here, resting on the sheets like something unfinished. Your silhouette is barely visible, a softer shade of black against the quiet walls. The window is open, just enough for night air to slip inside, cool against skin. Already warm, I hear the subtle shift of you, cotton brushing cotton, a breath drawn deeper than before. We don't speak because nothing needs translation in a room this dark. My hand moves slowly, not searching, just drifting across the space between us. It finds your wrist first, hesitates as if asking without a single word. Your pulse answers, steady, warm, alive beneath my fingertip. Slow hands in a darkened room feel braver somehow, like the absence of light erases fear. Your fingers slide along my arm, tracing invisible lines that only we will ever know. Don't rush, let the dark unfold us, layer by layer. Let every touch arrive gently. Slow hands in a darkened room, learning each other without sight. Every movement deliberate, every pause intentional. Your breath falls against my shoulder, soft as falling ash, and I lean into it. Slow hands in a darkened room where nothing is hurried and nothing is hidden. You shift closer, your knee brushing mine, and stay, and there's a quiet heat rising between us, not wild, not reckless, just steady. My palm rests against your waist, feeling the subtle curve, the rise and fall of every breath you take. You exhale slowly and it feels like trust. Outside the city hum fades, becomes distant, irrelevant. Here the only sound is skin against skin, and the faint rhythm of two hearts finding the same tempo. I don't need to see you to know you're here. The dark sharpens everything, every shiver, every quiet inhale. Your forehead presses to mine and we stay there, balanced between restraint and surrender. If time stopped now, I would never know it. Slow hands in a darkened room, mapping warmth like constellations. No sudden movements, no sharp edges, just softness. Your lips meet mine, unhurried as if we have all night and more. Slow hands in a darkened room where desire moves like a whisper. Stay like this, close enough that the air grows thin. Let the dark keep our secrets, let it hold every gentle touch. Slow hand, still moving long after the world falls asleep. The sheets Nights are cool at first, linen whispering against restless skin. The window is closed tonight, keeping the world out, keeping this moment in. You're lying beside me, close enough that warmth travels without effort. We haven't said much since the lights went out, but silence here isn't empty. It's late like breath, folded in a breath, like thoughts pressing softly against the back of the throat. There are things hovering between us, delicate, unfinished, unspoken. Your hand slides across the mattress, slow, uncertain, until it finds mine. Fingers intertwine, not tightly, just enough to acknowledge the gravity. The sheets rise and fall with every inhale, a quiet tide covering us. Your knee brushes, mine lingers, retreats, returns. There's a language in restraint, a vocabulary made of warmth and proximity. And beneath these sheets, confessions wait without demanding to be heard. We don't need to name it, we don't need to break it open. Let it stay soft, let it stay ours. Unspoken things beneath the sheets move slower than touch, but deeper. Your breath grazes my neck and I feel everything you're not saying. The dark listens, patient, protective. Unspoken things beneath the sheets feel heavier than words ever could. You turn toward me, forehead resting against mine, eyes closed as if the dark makes it easier. Your fingers trace along my spine, not claiming, just exploring, like you're reading a story written in warmth. I exhale into your shoulder and you respond without thinking. The air between us thins, not from urgency, but from closeness. There's a tremor in the way you hold me, like you're deciding whether to speak, but instead your lips find mine, slow, measured, carrying everything you chose not to say. Maybe it's better like this, where meaning stays between skin, where promises are implied instead of declared. Because here, beneath, caught in shadow, nothing feels forced, only felt. Unspoken things beneath the sheets press gently against our ribs. Your heartbeat matches mine, not perfectly, but close enough. The night wraps around us, keeping our silence safe. Unspoken things beneath the sheets are louder than any confession. Stay like this, where words would only disturb the rhythm. Let the sheets hold what we don't say. Let the dark understand. Unspoken, but known completely. The sirens fade first, and the distant engines, and even the restless footsteps outside our window. One by one, the lights lights across the buildings disappear, like stars surrendering to a quieter sky. When the city falls asleep, it feels like permission to exhale, to let the noise slide off our shoulders, to exist without performance. You're standing by the window, barefoot on cool wood, watching the last train pass, its windows flickering like fading thoughts. I come up behind you slowly, not to startle, just to share the view. Your reflection overlaps with mine in the glass, two shadows layered against a silent skyline. You lean back into me, hesitant at first, uncertain. My hands rest at your waist, gentle as if holding something rare. The hum of the city softens into something distant, almost oceanic. Up here above the noise, we feel suspended. No expectations, no interruptions, just breathing the pulse beneath it. Let it all drift away, every demand, every bright distraction. Tonight belongs to this quiet. When the city falls asleep, we move closer, like gravity deepens. Your head tilts back against my shoulder, and I close my eyes. The world below us disappears until only warmth remains. When the city falls asleep, desire doesn't have to hide. We leave the window slowly, as if stepping out of a dream. The room is dim, washed in faint blue light from somewhere unseen. You lie back on the bed, pulling me with you, a silent invitation. Our legs intertwine, unhurry later, in the shape of each other again. Your fingers trace circles against my spine, and the motion feels endless. The last car passes below, and then nothing, just us in the quiet. I've never liked the noise, the rush, the constant glare, but here in this softened hour, when even the city surrenders, I feel you more clearly. Not rushed, not distracted, just real. When the city falls asleep, our breathing finds the same rhythm. Your lips brush mine, slow as if we have nowhere else to be. The skyline fades from memory, replaced by skin, by warmth, by closeness. When the city falls asleep, we finally wake. Stay until the first light tries to break in. Stay while the streets are empty and the world forgets our names. When the city falls asleep, I don't need anything else. Just this room, this quiet, this slow, steady us. bedside lamp is dim to its lowest confession, casting a fragile halo across the edge of the bed. You're standing there, half in shadow, half in honey-colored light, like you're undecided between staying and surrendering. The air feels delicate, like glass warmed by breath. One wrong movement and it might shatter. But we don't move wrong. We move slowly as if guided by something quieter than instinct. Your fingers trace the rim of the lamp, absent, nervous, watching the light flicker against your skin. I step closer, not enough to close the space, just enough to feel the warmth shift. Your chest rises, falls, rises again. There's a question in your eyes, not fear, not doubt, just the weight of one in the room hums low, like it understands what hangs between us. Don't turn it off yet, let the glow hold us here, balanced between restraint and release. In the glow of almost everything feels in it. Your hand hovers at my waist, not claiming, just asking. Our lips nearly meeting and it's everything, anything. In the glow of warm rose, whose hair is patient, and time forgets to mourn. You lean in, slow enough that I notice the shift in your breathing. My hands find your shoulders, warm, steady. The light softens further, edges blurring until we're made of golden shadow. Your forehead rests against mine and we stay there, listening. Not to the world, but to the quiet tremble underneath our ribs. The distance between our mouths is thinner now, fragile, glowing. There's something sacred about stopping right before the fall, about feeling the pull and choosing to linger. Because in this suspended second, we're fully aware, fully awake, fully alive. No rush, no noise, just the hum of almost becoming. In the glow stayed long enough to become. The room is almost completely dark. Only a faint spill of blue from the forgotten television screen, flickering without a sound. You're sitting up against the headboard, knees drawn slightly inward, hair falling in soft disarray like sleep never fully claimed you. I shift beside you, the mattress answering in a low sigh, and the wood behind us carries the smallest vibration. Even silence makes a sound tonight. Your shoulder brushes mine, and the contact travels through fabric, through breath, into bone. There's a rhythm in the way we lean back together, the subtle thud of heartbeat meeting wood echoes against the headboard, soft but steady. You tilt your head toward me, not looking, just sensing. My fingers trace slow lines along your thigh, unhurried, careful, like I'm following a map drawn in shadow. Quiet isn't empty, it reverberates every inhale, every shift, every restrained movement. And the bed remembers it all. Stay close, let the room hold the sound of us breathing. Don't speak yet, let the echoes answer. Echoes against the headboard carry more than noise. The gentle knock of skin against wood sounds like confession. Your name leaves my mouth barely there, but it lingers in the dark. Echoes against the headboard tell the story we don't rush to say. You slide down slightly, pulling me with you until we're half reclined, half entangled. The wood cool against our backs, your warmth against my chest. Every small movement returns to us, amplified soft percussion of closeness. Your hand travels upward, resting behind my neck, drawing me nearer. Our foreheads meet, then our lips slow measured, as if we're listening for how it sounds. A quiet thud when we lean back again, and the headboard answers. I never noticed how much your room remembers, how walls absorb breath, how it carries rhythm tonight. Even the furniture feels aware, every sigh, every subtle shift echoes and settles. Tell the story we don't rush to say. Echoes against the headboards, a television glow disappears, leaving nothing but shadow. Our breathing evens out, still close, still warm. And somewhere in the quiet, the last faint echo rests against the headboard and inside us. Echoes against the headboard and inside us. The city bleeds through the window, pink and blue out of focus. past like it doesn't wanna watch us. We don't turn it away, we let it stay. Color in the room with borrowed light. Your face half shadow, half something I'll remember when I can't sleep at night. There's space between our bodies, but it's thin, it's alive. Filled with breath, with weight, and with things we don't say out loud. I can hear you inhale like you're choosing the moment, like timing still matters somehow. Neon breathing between us, soft pulses, slow exchange. Every breath crossing over, quietly changing shape. I feel you before contact, feel the heat, feel the trust. This closeness isn't touching, it's almost, and that's enough. Your eyes follow the light as it moves across my wall. I wonder if you're thinking or not thinking at all. Your hand rests open like an unanswered thought, not reaching, not hiding, just letting itself be caught. The room hums low, electric restraint, like the night outside pressed against the pane. And I swear the air thickens each time we breathe the same oxygen, turning heavier each time you say my name. Neon breathing between us in sync, without a plan to just rising slowly, learning each other's span. Your knee inches closer, then stops, then stays, like you're listening to what my silence says. I speak softly on purpose so the moment won't crack. My voice feels different here, like I might not get it back. You lean in to hear me, and the space gets smaller, filled with color, with warmth, with something harder to swallow. I notice everything, the way your jaw tightens, then lets go, the way your breath stutters when my moves slow. This isn't urgency, it's precision. Every second, place just so. Neon breathing between us, no rush, no disguise. The glow tracing your collarbone like it knows where to lie. I finally brush your arm just enough to confirm that the heat I imagined was real, was earned. You don't move away, you breathe deeper instead, and something unspoken settles quietly in my chest. Not a promise, not a claim, just a shared understanding that this moment is ours because we're not demanding. So we stay in the half-light, letting the city watch, letting the neon flicker as the seconds stretch. And not two bodies tuned carefully to the rhythm we create. Neon breathing between us, teaching patience how to wait. I'm just barely trying tonight. Oh, I almost tired. I can notice this room is seen in the desert. Shadows sit in corners, not moving, not shy. And my thoughts get louder, the quieter we are. You're on the other side of the dead, not far, not near, close enough to feel you, far enough to fear. The space between us feels intentional now, like a question we're both refusing to ask out loud. Oh, heavy thoughts pressing down full of something unnamed. Desire mixed with memory, soft, uncontained. Your phone lights up once, then goes dark again. Like even it understands this isn't the moment. You run your hand through your hair, so distracted, and I wonder what version of me you're silently imagining. The night outside hums low, traffic softened by rain. Inside my mind circles the same quiet terrain. I think about distance, about telling, about choice, about how close you are without using your voice. Light, heavy thoughts moving slower than time, each one landing gently but refusing to lie. I wanna reach for you, not to pull, not to claim, just to see if the weight lifts a little with your name. You speak eventually, something small, something plain, but the meaning stretches far beyond the sentence you say. I answer carefully, as if words could bruise, as if honesty needs to be used. Slow to your eyes meet mine, then look away, not from disinterest, but from everything they'd say. I feel the tension settle right under my skin, a quiet understanding we're both living in. Oh, yeah. Heavy thoughts share without exchange, two people carrying the same thing, but naming it would change with shape at this moment. The safety of our knowing, sometimes weight feels better than letting something open. I turn onto my side, face you fully now crossing the distance, just closing the angle. Somehow you don't move closer, but you don't move away, and that stillness says enough for today. The light grows softer, or maybe my eyes do, as the night deepens around me and you. My guide slowly pace, learning how to rest, because I'm always need that. Sometimes it just means death. a signal, no sound, no cue. Just a shared stillness that wasn't there before, like the room collectively decided to wait. Your face is close enough now that I notice details. The way your eyes soften right before you stop moving, how your breath changes. Remind us we don't lean in yet. We hover, suspend between intention and restraint, and that pause feels heavier than motion. A pause before we lean in, where everything aligns, hands halfway certain, hearts not crossing lines. This is the moment no one talks about, the space where desire decides out loud. It's allowed. Your lips part slightly, not asking, not offering, just existing in possibility. And I swear time narrows to the distance between our mouths. Nothing else survives the reduction. I feel my body prepare, then stop, like it's learning that waiting can be active, that stillness can carry as much meaning as touch. A pause before we lean in, thick with unspent heat. Every breath shared carefully so it doesn't break the beat. We're not afraid, we're aware, and that awareness changes everything. I notice your hand lift, then settle back down. Not rejection, just calibration, like you're checking if the moment can hold what it's about to become. The light flickers once barely, but it feels significant, like punctuation marking the sentence we haven't finished writing. A pause before we lean in is where honesty lives, before promises form, before consequence gives. This is the last quiet place before closeness becomes real, before fantasy learns how it feels. My breath catches, not because I'm unsure, but because certainty can be overwhelming too. I want this slow, I want this precise, I want the memory to feel like intention. Your forehead rests against mine, no kiss, no rush, just contact without consumption, and it feels impossibly intimate, like we skip steps and arrive somewhere deeper. A pause before we lean in extends longer than expected, and neither of us interrupts it. We let the tension mature instead of forcing release, letting desire prove it can stay gentle. When we finally move, it's barely movement at all, more like permission than action. And even then, part of me stays right here in this pause, where everything was possible. The lampshade turns everything kinda, edges blur, colors forgive. The room looks like it's remembering every gentle thing we didn't live. You sit close enough to cast a shadow that moves when you breathe. The light wraps around your face like it's trying to keep a secret. We don't face each other fully. Confessions feel safer at an angle. Eyes somewhere else, voices low face. Lampshade glow, soft confessions falling slowly one by one. Not dramatic revelations, just truths we usually outrun. The kind you say when no one's listening, and you trust the night not to repeat them. You talk about something small that hurt more than it should. I listen like it's sacred, because in this light it is. My knee brushes yours and stays as if to say, you don't have to finish. The lamp hums quietly, a steady, patient sound, holding the room together while our words loosen their guard. I offer something back, not a story, just a feeling, and you nod like you recognize it. Lampshade glow, soft confessions turn silence into a language. Pauses become invitations, not gaps we need to manage. Your hand rests open on the bed between us, as if honesty has weight. I trace the seam of my sleeve while I talk, keeping my body busy so my voice can stay calm. You don't interrupt, you let the words arrive, and that patience feels like touch. There's relief in being heard without being handled, without advice, without correction, just presence, just shared understanding, settling into the room. Lampshade glow, soft confessions make closeness feel earned, like intimacy starts where defenses learn to lower themselves gently, without collapsing, without fear. At some point we stop talking, not because there's nothing left, but because what's left doesn't need sound. The lamp keeps glowing, steady, warm, as if proud of us. I rest my head back, you stay where you are, and the quiet between us feels complete, not empty. This isn't the end of the night, it's the part we'll remember. Lampshade glow, soft confessions will stay with me longer than touch ever could. A reminder that sometimes the deepest closeness comes from being seen in the softest light, without needing to move. It doesn't announce itself, it just settles in somewhere between my chest and the way I look at you. Nothing dramatic changes, the room stays the same. Same light, same shadows, but the air feels heavier, like it's holding tension. You sit across from me, close enough to notice how often you swallow, how your hands rest still as if movement might reveal too much. The quiet weight of wanting presses without sound, not urgency, not need, just something dense and grounded. It doesn't ask for relief, it has to be felt. become aware of my posture, how I lean without realizing how my body responds before my thoughts to desire arrives. This way, subtle, patient, persistent, the quiet weight of wanting shows up in small choices and how I don't look away when I probably should, and how silence stretches instead of breaking, because neither of us wants to be the first sound. Your knee shifts slightly closer, then still a movement so small it feels intentional, and I feel the pull not to follow but to stay right where I am. I think about speaking, but words feel inadequate, too sharp for this texture. Wanting isn't loud tonight, it's something you carry carefully so it doesn't spill. The quiet weight of wanting teaches patience, the kind that isn't learned but discovered when the body realizes it can hold more than it ever tried to. Before your eyes meet mine, longer than necessary, and neither of us looks away. That's when it deepens, that's when the weight finds its place and stops shifting. I feel it in my breath, slower, heavier each inhale, deliberate as if oxygen itself needs permission to pass through. The quiet weight of wanting doesn't demand action.